Hey, what's up, everyone? It is time for our recruiting report with Otis Kirk. And we're going to start things off today by talking about Miles Rouser, Arkansas's newest commitment. And he actually had a lot of offers, including some from Alabama and Kentucky as well.
Yeah, he had 28 offers. He narrowed it down to four schools. Michigan State was in there with the schools you mentioned and Arkansas. This is kind of in the old days of the newspaper. It's hot off the press stuff because he committed at 10 o'clock. Well, he went public with it at 10 o'clock this morning. So this is very, very new stuff. And listen, he had offers all over the country. Schools like Penn State, Florida State, Notre Dame. I mean, this is a kid that could have gone anywhere he wanted to go. Sam Carter did a great job on him. I talked to Miles. Well, I talked to him about once or twice every week. We talk quite a bit, but I asked him, why did you choose Arkansas? And he said that Arkansas told him things they could make him get better at, not just what he does great. Because look, I mean, he's a number 3 player in Michigan, number 1 safety, a 4-star he's a 4-star with every recruiting service. So he's obviously can do a lot of things great. But Sam Carter talked to him about the things he can help him get better at, So, and that really caught the kid's attention. I don't know what every recruiter does. I think they try to tell the kid, you're great, blah, 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 and tell him what he wants to hear. And that's not what Coach Carter did. He actually went in and, he didn't go in. They can't go in. But, he had him on a Zoom call and virtual visit, and, of course, on the phone and stuff, and just explained to him what he could do to help make him. He and Barry Odom could make him a better player. And that caught his attention. Then Miles wanted to go to the SEC. So that kind of eliminated Michigan State. And he'd already eliminated Florida and Tennessee and those schools. So when it came down to the SEC, it came down to Arkansas, Alabama, and Kentucky. Well, once he said he got it down to the SEC, he realized Arkansas was definitely the place for him to be. So when Arkansas first offered him, and I'm not going to lie to you, I said, that's waste of time. I remember through the years, they've offered so many kids out of Michigan, and they've never gotten any of them out of Detroit and stuff. And I guess it's a new day in Arkansas football to get a kid like that out of Detroit, out of Belleville, Michigan, because Miles can really play. And he gives them that's the 8th commitment in this class. And if they can get some more like him, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, 4-star safety. That's a huge get for Arkansas. A guy who's still, deciding, though, in terms of where he wants to end up is Faizon Wilson. I think he's pushed his decision date back yet again. What's going on there?
Well, he's with James Joyner today, and I can tell you he's got a Razorback shirt on. So he was going to announce, like you said, he had a date in April, then he had one back in March, and then he postponed it to Friday, this coming Friday. I don't think there's anything there to worry about. I think it was a matter of some people couldn't be there that he wanted to be at the deal. We've got to remember it's spring break a lot of places right now. People are taking off to the beaches or wherever. And so, but he's going to announce Friday. I still feel like it's Arkansas for him. And for anyone who doesn't know, he's from Lancaster, Texas. He's 6'4", 200, maybe 205, outstanding receiver. And like I said, he's friends with James Joyner, and James tweeted out a picture of them together down there in Texas today, and they both got Razorback shirts. So James is a very good recruiter, by the way. I don't know if Kenny Guyton wants to leave James Joyner with him very long. He may take his shot, but no, James and Dax Courtney, J.J. Hollingsworth, and those guys do a very good job recruiting. But for anyone wondering, Arkansas all schools want to get the big, tall, fast receivers, and that's what Wilson is. And when you can do that, it causes mismatches to defensive backs. And you can watch him on a 7-on-7 video he's got on there on Twitter, on some of his Twitter feed. Yeah. He's got video of him playing 7-on-7, and he just goes up over people and catches the ball with one hand or whatever. He's a talented receiver. His stats don't blow you away. And I think I said last week or the week before on here, I think his best football is ahead of him. That's the thing. I think his best football is ahead of him because they've got so many players at his school that he doesn't really maybe not the featured guy there. And I
Yeah.
think he'll, once he gets in a college program, got better quarterback. But he's down to Arkansas, Alabama, and Ole Miss as his three schools. But I think it's Arkansas. But we'll find out Friday. But he's a kid that can make a difference there, and he's another 4-star, by the way, another top 300 player with ESPN, just like Miles Rouser was.
And hey, by the way, I did see that picture that you're talking about, and yeah, it looks pretty good for Arkansas.
James said their new. I came to Texas, got a new hog or something like that, or got a hog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's yeah, I hope no one on Twitter gets on to him for giving it away like they did me about James Shorter's commitment. I mean, that's a lot more blatant than what I did. So probably shield them off if they do, though.
Well, one more guy we're going to talk about today is David Hicks, a defensive end from the 2023 class out of Texas. What do you know about him and where he's picking up some offers?
Well, he got an offer from Arkansas this past week. And let me tell you about him. He's got some strong ties to Arkansas. His dad graduated from El Dorado High School. He's still got plenty of relatives in Arkansas. You know, so many times we talk about Curly Thomas on here. So many times we talk about kids on here who live in Texas but have strong ties to Arkansas because they've still got family here. You know, Curly was visiting with his grandparents last weekend up here. This same way with this situation here. And one of his cousins is actually a good friend of mine. And he's also, they're also related, or the friends related to Trey Holly, the running back down in Farmersville, Louisiana, too. So this is Hicks is a big defensive end. Just going, you know, like you said, he's just in the 10th grade, so he's got 2 more years of high school. But he's definitely got a bunch of offers. Can be a dominating player, and he's wherever he goes to school is somebody's going to get a good player. But he's really got a lot of strong ties to the state of Arkansas, and he was excited about that offer. But his name, David, his nickname is DJ, and his dad's name is David Hicks too. But he's the type of player that you offer and you recruit the heck out of him, hoping you can sign him. Yeah. And while you're doing that, you know, every other school doing the same thing. But no, I mean, I think Arkansas having the natural ties of relatives and stuff still in the state, not just the fact some of his family was from here. I think that helps Arkansas a lot. And a lot of times they get those kids, sometimes they don't. But it certainly gets Arkansas's foot into the door. And that's what you want. And with Sam Pittman and this staff, if you can get your foot in the door, that gives you a heck of an advantage. Because this staff can recruit. I'm going to tell you, this bounced around a little bit, but Sam Carter did one heck of a job on Miles Rouser. He did one heck of a job. He out-recruited the other people. And this staff can do that. And Sam Pittman believes that you're recruiting to the best school in the country. That if you don't believe that, you can't recruit kids. That if you don't believe you've got the best job in America and you're recruiting to the best school. And that's how Sam Pittman was successful at Arkansas. He did that when he was an assistant here. He said, I believe that was the best job and I'm recruiting the best school. That's what Sam and his staff take the philosophy and Sam makes them. I mean, they're going to have that philosophy if they work for Sam Pittman. And that's why I say if they can get their foot in the door with anything, and like this was family ties, and plus the kid's got a lot of talents, they would have offered him anyway. But I think having the family ties does give him a little bit, maybe a foot up there a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely doesn't hurt that coaching staff at all. But that's going to do it for our recruiting report this week. Otis, as always, thanks so much for your time and your insight.